Welcome to This Is the Place, brought to you by We Own This Town, where we discuss the ever-growing and shrinking restaurant and bar scene here in Nashville, Tennessee. My name is Matt. With me today is We Own This Town proprietor Michael Eades. How you doing, man?
I am doing well. Thank you for having me.
Great. Mickey couldn't be with us again for the intro. He will be with us next week. Looking forward to that discussion. But so this is episode number 15. And we did number 10 was, for anybody who doesn't know, it was the first inaugural dive bar.
Well, we eventually renamed it to the neighborhood bar.
Yeah, we initially thought that it had maybe a little bit of negative connotation, but it seems like almost all these places that we're going to embrace the word dive bar.
Yeah.
And you know, it can be used neighborhood bar, dive bar. I think it can be used a little interchangeably, which is fine.
I feel like it's a very long debate to have that we should not have on this podcast.
Let's move forward. So episode 10 was the first dive bar episode, and we said, okay, we're going to hit certain areas of the city, and we hopefully every fifth episode from there on out we'll hit, or at least the next 4 zoned areas of Nashville. We'll do a little dive bar trek in episode 15. So we kept up with our promise, and here we are at number 15, dive bar episode number 2.
Yeah, the second bracket.
We'll see how it goes. And we visited several places in East Nashville.
This is a big one. The Eastside. That's where everyone goes now. That's like the destination for Nashville in terms of youth culture. Happening, cool culture.
Just the sheer number of restaurants and places to hang out probably outnumber any of the other areas in town. So more than likely you're going to head over to the East Side. I mean, not discounting all the stuff downtown if you're a tourist, not counting that.
Totally.
If you're a local.
Yeah, this is not a podcast for tourists, or is it?
It could be. It could be if they're coming to town and they want to hear about some good places.
Yeah, it's a resource.
I mean, it is. I think it's a valuable resource.
I agree.
To anybody.
I was testing you, and you passed.
All right, thank you.
So, much like the first iteration of this, we went in with a selection of dive bars, neighborhood bars, that we were going to visit throughout the night and then judge them based on a set of predetermined criteria to see how they stacked up. I think part of that also is a little bit of subjectivity and nebulousness based on our experience in the bar and restaurant scene. But should we discuss how we came to decide on the 4 spots that we did pick?
Sure. So there were a couple spots that we didn't go to that I think some people would consider neighborhood bars, definitely dive bars.
Yep.
A couple just that popped to my head are like Duke's,
right?
Mickey's.
Places we did not go.
These are places we did not go, but somebody listening might say, hey, this is my neighborhood bar. Why didn't you go to this? And maybe a valid question, but I think you'll see when we go over sort of the criteria of what we think of when we think of local neighborhood dive bar, you'll see why we didn't choose a couple of those places.
Didn't go to Three Crow. Didn't go to Red Door.
Yeah. I don't know if a 5 spot would be or not. I mean,
that's more of a venue to me.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, maybe there are a couple more out there that are popping in my head right now, but
we did not go to Edgefield Bar and Grill, which was like of the 4 we picked, that was number 5. So it was very close to
we were going to go there, but then of course, as some of you may know, it is going to be closing here in the next couple of months.
Yeah, and that's the rumor. That's an unsubstantiated, unvalidated rumor.
Right.
I can't cite my sources on it, but I'm fairly confident in the. I think that's real.
Yeah,
I think it's going.
And my understanding is the owner is older and ready to move on. Had a great run, great local space, great local neighborhood
wonderful
bar, 100%. I used to go there quite a bit, a little more on the sports bar side.
Right.
Anyway, I don't think it's closing anytime soon. I think it's going to be around until the summer. But if it does in fact close, who knows what's going to be there? I don't know if it's going to stay and that's some sort of same iteration, or if it's going to get torn down and who knows what goes up.
It's a great winter bar, though.
Really good winter bar.
Yeah. I mean, if you like darts and being indoors, it's got you covered.
It is warm in there.
Yeah.
A couple of, I guess we can go over criteria of what we were looking at in terms of the places we want to go to. One was the selection of alcohol and or food.
Yeah. In asking around, taking surveys, how do you define a dive bar? It was told to me, and which I agreed with, that you really aren't going to have a large liquor selection.
If any.
And ordering is going to be a no-fuss experience.
Yes.
You can't go up to a dive bar bartender and say, I would like a gin and tonic with a splash of Sprite and please no lemon, and like specify a bunch of things. There's nothing wrong with ordering a drink that way.
Yeah.
You just don't do that at a dive bar.
Right.
And the criteria that we're laying out,
menu should be fairly simple.
Yeah. It might be just chips.
Yeah, totally. Food could be actually just some items that they throw in a microwave.
Absolutely.
Or it could just be candy.
It might be just candy in a Tupperware bin.
Yeah, exactly. And so in terms of liquor or everything, food and liquor, I think another thing is cost.
Yeah.
You think, okay, I'm going to a local watering hole. I shouldn't have to spend more than $6 for a beer.
No, you definitely, if you saw a $10 beer on the menu, you're at the wrong
place.
You're just not in a dive bar.
Yeah, exactly.
You might be in the right place. You might be in a great
that you
place.
want to go to.
Yeah. but it's not a dive bar.
And so those are some of the criteria. I think those are some of the main criteria. Also, I think whether you can smoke or not necessarily inside,
right?
But a smoking area or smoking inside is usually an option at a neighborhood bar.
And we generally think of a dive bar as a place that's a little, I don't know the right articulation for this, but it's a little like a dive is deep down. You're taking a deep dive. It's like maybe a little unkempt. It's maybe it's seen some years.
Yes.
I think a dive bar has to have seen some years in order to register as a dive bar, personally.
Yes.
Which is one of the reasons
a big critique that we had gone back and forth on whether...
Because it doesn't mean it has to be shitty. It just... No. It could still be a good place to go, but it just has age to it.
Right.
Which for me, Mickey's is not on the list, might be contentious, but they have a great liquor selection, so that's already one mark against them for this categorization, not a mark against them as a bar. And it's pretty new. Mickey's has not been around that long.
Not very long at all. And as we'll find out, one of the places we go to, I think, used to be in that same building.
Yeah.
So those those are kind of the main criteria that we looked at when we were deciding on places to go.
Were those the right criteria? Let us know. Tweet at us.
Yes.
Instagram at us. At This Is The Place, THA. I just got to, as the proprietor of We Own This Town, I really got to plug in some socials
whenever you can.
So go follow us, like some stuff, tell us what we did wrong, what we did right. And we'll get into our official selections now. Take you through our evening.
All right. So number one, the first place we went to and again, I don't think I have to necessarily put an asterisk on this, but we did go on a weekend evening.
Right.
So a Tuesday evening may be a slightly different experience for where you might have at these places. Not
totally
necessarily
experienced that with the first dive bar tour. Going to Santa's on a Saturday night was insane, but it might not be that way on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, definitely.
It definitely factors in.
Just throwing that out there. So the first place we went to is a place called Turn 1 on Gallatin Road, right before, next to the hardware store, right before you go underneath the bridge next to the Inglewood Kroger.
Yeah, stone's throw from Sinkers.
Yes, exactly. And I had heard about that place. I didn't know anything about it, never been there. And I was a little apprehensive about going to it just because of things I had heard about it.
I was very apprehensive. I was very apprehensive to go. Everyone said, go early in the night. Make that your first stop. Yeah. Don't go late at night.
Yeah.
Which we did.
But I mean, we weren't there at 5, but, it was, definitely 8 o'clock. I think when we met up, so not too early. Going there, so
it looks abandoned and closed from the outside, by the way.
I really thought that it was a used car lot.
Yeah.
Because in terms of signage, I mean, if you've listened to any of our past episodes, we have a scorecard that we will go through. Signage, I mean, one maybe. I don't know. I mean, there is a sign.
Right.
There is no lights on the sign, and I'm not sure there are any street lights around the bar.
No, it's
area.
It's a scary place to walk
Yes.
up. The front windows are all heavily tinted, so you can't see in at all.
And so going up to it, I think when my Lyft driver, he was like, "Here, right?" And I was like, "No, I think it's the next place over that's really dark."
Take you to the very well lit bodega next door.
right.
Seems like a place people would want to go.
Makes sense.
But no, your destination is to the right.
So made it in there, and when I walked in, Michael was already at the bar, and just initial impression is, wow, this is a neighborhood bar.
Absolutely.
Pretty sure we were the youngest people there, or right at it.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people in there. So when you walk in, you go immediately to the right. There are a couple of long tables, and it's actually longer than I thought it was, the bar, the entire establishment. You go, you keep on going, and there's a back area where they're doing karaoke. It's kind of like 2 rooms, but a decent amount of places to sit, decent amount of bar stools, but there, it looked like it kind of been thrown together a little bit.
Yeah, it had that cool ramshackle vibe. I mean, for me, it was kind of a plus. Like, it had the vibe of a dive bar that, like, there's Christmas lights hanging everywhere.
Yeah.
All year round. And I like it. I liked it. There were weird posters that are, cigarette stained from 20 years of being on the wall.
Yeah. Just kind of accumulated random chairs. There looked like a desk chair.
There were definitely multiple office chairs just sitting around.
Right. But so we hung out at the bar, and as far as feeling welcomed, I thought it was great. I mean,
the bartender was so nice.
Yeah, she was great. She was not intimidating in any way.
No,
not judging in any way. Like, who are these guys I've never seen before?
No.
So it was fun, and it seemed like everybody was having a good time there. It looked like everybody that was there pretty much knew each other.
Yep,
and they probably go there every weekend. And they hang out and they drink beers. And if they have other things to drink besides beers, it's fine. If you keep it on the DL.
For sure. There's definitely some of that. You had compared this to Twin Kegs 2 over on the west side of town near Nolensville Road, to what you had experienced at Twin Kegs 2 maybe 15 years ago.
Right.
Where it was
definitely.
like very much a neighborhood bar, literally filled with locals that would kind of look at you weird when you came in. Lots of drinking liquor on the back porch, a blind eye being turned to that. Now, that's not to insinuate that it was seedy at all in there in turn 1. It's just the kind of atmosphere you get where, like, if you had a little snifter of whatever, a little flask, no one cares.
Yeah. No. As long as you weren't flashing anything around. If we came in and were boisterous and being just assholes, and then I'm sure the bartender would have said something to us, or not her, but somebody else, one of the other people there.
A patron would have definitely confronted us.
Yes. So,
do you think they thought we were narcs?
That's a good question. I don't know.
We could be cops, man.
We could have been cops. We very well cops that have that Eastside look to them. I don't think they gave a shit about us. I don't think anybody really even.
I don't either.
Yeah. So let's go over a couple of the criteria or the scorecard items.
Mm-hmm.
And let's rate turn 1. So in terms of welcoming,
we tend to roll two things into this.
Right.
We roll in the signage and the exterior of the place in terms of welcoming, and then just like how the staff interacts with you into these two things. So I think we're giving very low marks for the outside of the building's literal appearance, but very high marks for how we were treated inside.
Yes. Yeah. definitely.
Does that mean we average out at like a 6?
Maybe I would. Yeah, I'm happy with 6. I think that's appropriate. I mean, because welcoming on the inside outweighs, I think, the kind of I don't want to say decrepit, but kind of dark.
Looked like it was closed.
Yes, yeah. Because once we were in there, it was fine, and I felt totally welcomed.
To speak to the fear that was put into us prior to going in, though, I do think had we been there much later in the evening, and that group of people, the locals that were there, had allowed themselves to let loose a little bit, it does feel like a place where someone might like yell something at you.
Yes.
Or I'm writing a fine line here because I don't want to speak ill of it, because I had a really nice time there and I didn't experience anything bad, and I'm going completely off rumor. So this is like a huge caveat around it, but it just does feel like the sort of place where someone might just yell from across the room like, "Hey!" Like have something to say to you.
Yes.
If they were inebriated enough.
Right. And make us an assumption about you in one way or another.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a shitty thing to say because I didn't experience that. But I just, I want to throw out that I don't know. It's a caveat.
And I don't know. Like you said, some people said yes, go early. I don't know if people that directly have had an experience later on in the evening like that, or if they just heard rumors as well.
I think so. I think it's all been rumors because we did have a good time, but we're also 2 white men.
We're middle aged. We're not like 20.
Right.
Yeah,
we're like 2 40-year-old white men, straight guys going into a bar that's themed around NASCAR.
Yeah,
we're fine.
Exactly. Right.
So I don't know. It's a crappy thing to say because it's making assumptions about the clientele there and their acceptance, which we did not experience. But
at all. Right.
It's a thing that we heard.
I could see how. Yeah, I think it's a valid point to say, like, who knows? Maybe that could happen later on. We didn't experience it. So
Lighting,
I thought was kind of perfect. I don't know. Too. I really, like you mentioned, the Christmas lights, but well lit, but not too well lit. Mm-hmm. They did have, right when you walk in, a pool table, so you could definitely play pool there easily. And then in the back area where the karaoke was, I think it was a little less lit.
Who knew
but perfect.
What goes on in
there? But perfect lighting.
Karaoke room was definitely the back room.
Right.
Rules were let go in the back room.
Full disclosure, I did not walk back there. You could easily see, sitting in front of the bar, you could see what was going on back there. But
it looked like it had a stage too.
Yeah, it
was
a band stage
played at Turn 1?
I would think so.
Wow.
Yeah. Jimmy Buffett cover band?
Maybe the next Spew Fest will expand.
That would be pretty awesome.
Turn 1.
You never know. They might be very accommodating.
Yeah.
So, smoke level.
So, smoke level is an interesting one because the ranking of this, the score for this particular piece, depends on if you're a smoker or not. So, if you are a smoker, if you enjoy smoking a cigarette indoors while having a beer, high ranks here.
Right.
Very high. Right. If you are not a smoker and you don't like being around smoke or having your clothes smell like smoke the next day, this is very low ranking because this is a terrible experience. Matt at one point remarked, "My eyes are burning."
Right. I did. Yeah, it was, 15 years ago, almost all places you went into were smoking. You didn't even think about it. You were just kind of used to it, where that's just not the case anymore. And so, most places you go into are not smoking. So, even if you are a smoker, a lot of smokers don't even smoke in their house, so you smoke outside and you're just used to smoking in a place either completely outdoors or somewhere where, like, I don't know, where there is good ventilation and it's not bothering you. And so, but dive bars typically are smoking in one way or another, and there is a certain level of how deep that smoke is seeped into the local furniture there.
So it definitely was very smoky. Matt's eyes were burning.
Yeah.
There was not a lot of good ventilation.
No.
So I remember when we went to Melrose over on the west side of town, it used to be very suffocating in there, and you had noted, like, oh, great, they added great ventilation.
Yeah.
You can smoke in here and it's fine.
Yeah.
That is not the case here.
No.
Burning eyes.
Yes.
Okay.
So
very high level, very high marks for smoke level.
So, yeah. So, I would give it a 9 in terms of that's how, or maybe even a 10.
Oh, there's always more burning.
Yeah, probably is. I think you mentioned decor a little bit earlier, and a little scattershot, but still themed, like we said, Turn 1 NASCAR bar.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. You definitely saw a fair amount of NASCAR or I don't know, Formula One. I'm just not familiar with that world.
Me neither.
So it could have been all sorts of different.
I mean, it was pretty vague. I mean, it's very light. I mean, it was definitely like,
it wasn't,
we put up a
it wasn't,
couple NASCAR things.
Right.
It wasn't heavily themed, like you're sitting on racing stripe pins.
Yeah, I didn't have
chairs.
like finish line flags everywhere or anything like that. So, but there were other random kind of pieces.
Behind the bar
posters.
was awesome. Just like a bunch of weird crap behind the bar. The beer fridge is a literal fridge stocked with just bottles of beer.
Yeah.
And then like some weird apple schnapps thing that was not
so desire.
Wasn't really liquor. It was just like
I'm
gross thing they had.
Confused of exactly what it is. I wasn't sure if it was kind of like Mad Dog, and so
the bartender did not know either.
I think that's considered not liquor, so you can have that sort of stuff. But even the bartender was like, this is disgusting.
Yeah, we got this for free.
Right. So decor. I give it for what it is. I give it a solid 8. Appropriate. I liked it. Take a date. Would you take a date on? And I guess maybe we should specify a first date or 10th date.
Are you married and you're going on a date? That's different. I think the assumption here is in general, not first date. I don't think first date is what this is applying to.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I think I personally like to go to neighborhood bars and dive bars on a date and just have a night out. But it's not like, that's more of like a regular thing that you would do. Like, on Fridays we go to Turn 1 and have a beer. A date is more of a like, this Friday we are carving time out for ourselves and going to a special place.
Right.
I don't know that this really applies.
Yeah.
I don't know that most dive bars apply, but we can talk it out.
I think it all depends on the person, and it depends on, I think that kind of curbs into smoke level too. Like, do you or your date, how much does it bother them if it's a smoking establishment? Like my wife will never go in there. Yeah. Like if we go, and we definitely like to go on dates where we just go to a bar, a neighborhood bar,
right? But
it has to be not smoking. You cannot be.
My girlfriend and I go on dates to our neighborhood bar regularly.
Yeah.
But no smoking.
Right.
For sure.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm just going to take a stance on this because you can't be wishy-washy.
5.
Don't take a date here.
Yeah. Don't take a date.
Calling it a 2.
All right. Oh, okay.
I'm calling it a 2 personally.
Yeah.
I'll write down 5 for you.
Yeah.
But.
Well, okay. All right. Sounds good. So, music.
Karaoke.
It was just karaoke. So, we can't really rate music just because it was karaoke. So,
but some of the karaoke was legit good.
Oh, my God.
And some of those people was awful in the best way.
Right.
So, it was high marks for karaoke.
Yeah. I guess we'll get to this when we wrap it up. But I would sing some karaoke.
Oh, yeah. It seems like a place where there are no judging eyes.
Yeah.
So just, go nuts. Yeah. You're a bad karaoke singer, you're welcome.
Yes.
Whereas Santa's often is like, oh, goodness, that person is very good.
Right. Exactly. Why are they here?
Yeah.
Why aren't they in a recording studio right now?
Right. And you're just like, I'm not going to sing in front of these people after that.
Right.
Turn 1, go nuts.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. So I know I do not feel good about this next one in terms of it rolling it in. Okay, we'll split it up. Okay.
So on our scorecard that we'd shared on Instagram, the 7th category that we had was food/payment. And Matt, and I commend him for this, just didn't want to have 8 categories. He wanted to keep it simple. But I feel like these two things need to be split up into their own categories with their own numbers associated with them.
Just totally fine with me.
We're gonna treat these as separate.
So we'll go with payment first. And payment's pretty easy.
Well, it's a cash-only establishment.
Yeah.
For me, that's low marks.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I think it's easy because cash only, and I don't carry cash on me very often. I knew a couple places we were going to were probably going to be cash. Right. I didn't even realize Turn 1 was. I knew that Fran's was.
I will say that it was affordable, which is a plus. So payment from the viewpoint of like it was cheap,
super easy.
But I didn't even remember seeing an ATM in there. So you'd have to go next door to like the bodega to like use their ATM. That's very inconvenient.
Yeah, totally. No, I would say for payment, give it a 2.
Yeah, I mean, there's iPads now, y'all. Get one.
Yeah. It's very easy, and it doesn't cost really any extra to.
But it does make
that.
your business have paperwork, whereas cash does not.
Yes, that is very true, and that's a legitimate question on why they're cash only.
We're talking so much shit about Turn 1, and we had such a nice time.
I know, yeah, it's like one of our favorite places of the night. I mean, just because we give it low marks doesn't mean for a particular line item does not mean that overall we did not like it. So. Food.
Yep, which we did not eat there.
No.
Did not see a menu.
Well, no menu, but there is, like you mentioned earlier, a box of candy.
There was a Tupperware bin that said 3 for $1, and it was filled with a variety of Halloween candies.
Natural.
I don't know which year of Halloween, but if you needed a quick snack, that's pretty good. I think all bars in Tennessee legally have to sell some food. They have to. I think so.
Really?
I think you have to have chips. Like you have to have some form of substance for sale.
Why do you think that?
I don't know the law, and I don't have anything to back this up, and I'm not willing to Google it on the air, but this is a thing that I heard and never refuted, so I'm just spreading the rumor now.
Right.
If you disagree, tweet at us at This Is The Place and let us know. Thanks.
Any lawyers out there that know the...
I know there's at least one lawyer listening right now.
Okay. All right. Great. So that was it for food. Like you said, need a quick snack.
Probably not a place I would
of a Three Musketeer. It might be from 2008, but it's available. If
they
you want.
had a kitchen, would you eat there? It's so
I
hard.
think it depends. I think it depends on how many drinks I've had. The time of day and there's a factor there. The time of day times drinks equals yes. I will. I'm
gonna write this formula down.
I will have a Milky Way and a peppermint, but most times I will not have. I will say most times I won't need a dive bar.
No,
but
there are
it depends on. I mean, Rosie's, which on the first one, Rosie's Twin Kegs. I mean, really one of the best burgers in town.
Right.
And I had that burger several times, but I would go there in the afternoon on a weekend.
Number of drinks low, time of day.
Yeah, perfect. Exactly. Very sunny.
Yeah.
Very sunny.
I mean, Melrose had all that fresh popcorn. That was cool.
Yeah.
I would not eat at Tin Dog Tavern, personally, but...
No.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
Love the place.
Love the place.
Will not eat there.
Yeah. All right. So let's continue on our journey. We've covered our Turn 1 experience.
Really?
We're giving it a...
I don't want to say exhaustive, but...
Exhaustive. Yeah. I mean, but I would say there's more to talk about.
Yes.
But we'll touch on it again. And I'm giving it a do go.
Yeah.
I'm giving it a do go.
Yeah. Are you giving it a number or just a do go?
I'm just giving it a do go.
Yeah.
We already reviewed the numbers.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So.
All right.
So I think a place can have almost zeros across the board, and you could still say do go.
Right.
Tin Dog Tavern might have zeros across the board, but it would still be a do go. I don't know. We can talk about it.
Yeah. Anyway, so the next place we went to and took a lift down the road is Wilburn Street Tavern.
Right.
And it is in a building off in the Cleveland Park area, I believe.
Connected to Folk.
Yeah, same building, I think, tied to Folk, which is, we've talked about before on this podcast. Mickey and I both love that place. I would encourage anybody to go there for dinner. So we went to Wilburn and had a different experience.
Yeah, well, before we discuss it, let's hear what we thought about it. You ready? We brought the field recording mic along.
That's right.
I did a better job this time, but I still don't want to inundate everyone with field recordings. So we're just gonna sprinkle them in, and here's a little something from our experience at Wilburn. All right, Matt. First impressions on Wilburn Street Tavern. It's your first time here.
Might be a neighborhood bar, definitely not a dive bar.
Wow. What makes you think that?
They have liquor. They have a margarita selection. They have food that is of, I don't want to say it's of the specialty, but it's not just your plain hot dog. And maybe I don't know how many of these people live within a couple blocks of here.
All valid points. So that touches on a couple things that we'll provide a little more detail on. But first and foremost, it has liquor on the menu. So we've already discussed that makes it doesn't really fulfill our requirements for a dive bar.
And not only does it have liquor, but it does have a fairly extensive liquor. I mean, they got some. It's not just got a couple of, they got some vodka, they got some whiskey. I mean, you can get a specialty drink there, I think, if you wanted to.
Yeah, which is not a negative thing for the establishment. That's a great thing for the establishment. But if we're talking about dive bars, it does hurt them filing into that categorization. They also had food, which was, I think you were implying that it was a little fancy.
Well,
it wasn't like a hot dog in boiling water.
Right. I mean, they do have several different hot dog selections that I'm sure taste really good. But it's not here's a pop-up table with steamed hot dogs that have been here for quite a while.
So remember, this is contextual. So in the view of a dive bar, those are negatives, but in the view of a place that you would go, it's a positive.
Yeah, definitely. I do have to say, I am a huge fan of Campari, and so their cocktail selection is Campari based. I think that's all in design. So if you are a fan of like Negronis or Boulevardiers, then I will say I will go back there to have one of those because I'm partial to those sorts of cocktails. But that night was not the night for a Negroni. It was for cheap beer. And which brings us to one thing I did like about it is, again, they had an extensive beer selection, but it was very reasonably priced, and they had some local beers that in other places I've seen much more higher priced.
Yeah, you were saying that there was a bearded iris there that was like $6.
Yeah,
which you've seen for 10 other places.
Yeah, it's some ridiculous.
So great pricing there.
Yeah.
We will lightly touch on the controversy of this place, which I think I put that in heavy quotes. Wilburn Street Tavern is a bar that's been around for a really long time. It's in that Cleveland Park area, which has been undergoing a lot of gentrification over the last 5 years, meaning that a lot of people are being pushed out of the neighborhood, and a lot of local businesses are being pushed out. So ownership changed hands at Wilburn Street Tavern from the previous owner to the current owner, who is the same owner of Mas Tacos. Mm-hmm. I don't think that really has any bearing on the controversy, quote unquote, but that's just reference point for you. And I think people were upset because there's a rumor that the bartender that was the Wilburn Street bartender, this like long-standing lady who the bar
been there decades.
The bar and the bartender were tied together so tightly they could never be separated, and they were separated. Now Wilburn Street Tavern operates without her. There was some contention that maybe she was pushed out. I don't have any verification of that and would not assume that about what I know about Mas Tacos and about the owner there. Like, I just don't. It doesn't jive to me as a reasonable thing that happened.
Right.
But I don't know either way.
Yeah. So I heard that both extremes. I heard that she was pushed out, and I heard that she was taken care of and was ready to go.
Yep.
No, I don't want to say ready to go, but she's was taken care of.
Yeah.
So I don't want to put.
Well, I just don't want to gloss over the fact that this rumor exists.
Yeah.
We're acknowledging that it exists, but we don't know anything about it one way or the other.
And our ranking or anything has no bearing on the rumor.
Absolutely. So I do know that the clientele there was pretty young. Mm-hmm. And I have to assume prior to the switching in hands, it was not. Yeah. But I think that's probably a normal thing to happen for any bar that changes hands.
Sure. Yeah, without a doubt. I would think so. Yeah. I mean, I think we definitely went from turn one to where we were either the youngest people there or right at the youngest people to going to Wilburn, and then I think I was the oldest person.
Oh, right.
There.
Yeah.
Me and
you, man. We were the elders right in the bar, for sure.
Which, nothing wrong with that. It's fine.
No, we didn't feel uncomfortable either.
No, not at all. Not at all. So overall, I enjoyed it. I think I will stick to my claim. I just don't. Is it a neighborhood bar? It definitely had a neighborhood bar feel to it. It was so different from turn one. It's hard for me to call it a dive bar.
Yeah, I mean, and also this iteration of Wilburn Street Tavern isn't that old.
No.
So, I mean, the establishment in general is long-standing.
I mean, it's less than maybe a year.
Yeah, maybe a year. So I don't know that it meets our requirements.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Let us know. This is the book. I'm sorry.
They do allow smoking outside in the back. There's a back patio area.
Pro tip: there's a sign on the door that says "No drinks past this point." That is not enforced.
Yes.
At least from my experience, having been there 3 or 4 times, you can take drinks out there.
Yeah. I don't know how long that sign had been there.
Don't drop your glass bottle out there. That's rude. But,
right.
Be careful. It's cool.
Yeah. So overall,
let's just run through the scorecard.
Okay. Yeah,
we don't have to spend a ton of time on it.
Welcoming.
/ signage. That's what we call this one.
I like the sign. I think it's the original sign.
I love it.
When I say the original, I mean I think it's been there for a long time.
Yeah, it feels like an English pub.
Yeah, it does very much have that vibe to it. The signage does. So I really liked it. I thought it was welcoming. I like the outside, the facade.
Yeah.
Of the building. Yeah, I mean I give it
high marks.
High marks. Yeah.
I mean in my field recordings and reviewing those, what we thought, we were saying like a 9.
Were we?
Super high.
Okay. Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's pretty tucked away. Bartenders are super nice, so it is a welcoming vibe in there. You can be the elders in the room. No one cares. We did know a lot of people there. Our buddy Cody from the band New Man came and met us and joined us on our journey.
Continued on the rest of the night with us.
Yeah, and so it was a cool spot to meet up. I mean, it definitely has it's a great spot.
Yeah.
From the welcoming aspect of it. The door guy's super nice. The bartenders were super nice. The clientele there was younger, but
everybody was having a good time.
Everyone was and did not
Doing
care
their thing.
about you.
Not at all. So lighting. I thought that it was a little dark.
It's pretty dark.
Not to say that that's necessarily a bad thing. It's just an observation that it was like I would have no problem playing pool at turn 1. A little dark to play pool. There is a pool table at Wilburn. It looked a little dark to be playing pool. Not that you couldn't do it. I'm not some old man that can't see, but
I mean, in a few years, I'll probably have a hard time in there.
Yeah,
I have prescription glasses already, and very poor vision. So,
so yeah, definitely. And I mean, obviously, I think that's intentional. I think they want it lit that way, so that's fine. But yeah, a little on the darker side.
Mm-hmm. You want to go into smoke level?
Yeah, we already smoke level is. I mean, I give it a 0 because you don't smoke inside there, so smoke level is fine.
And if you're bothered by smoke outside on the patio, then that's something to take note of.
Right.
Smokers do have to go outside, which is cool that
if
allow that.
If there was smoking in there, which I'd imagine there's been a lot of smoking there for a long time, you wouldn't really know it.
No, it doesn't have any sort of stench or staleness that's come with it.
No. Decor.
This one was difficult because it's kind of pretty sparse.
Very sparse.
I think it has a vibe.
Yeah.
There's
it's intentional. I think it's not a random thing.
There's like potted plants all over the place that have like Christmas lights in them. It's like a nice little vibe to it. There's art on the walls. It's kind of got a folk art feel.
So do they have like rotating local artists?
I remember when they first opened, this guy Harry Kagan, who's in music band, he had a bunch of art up in there, and I don't know if that persists or if it changes out. So I was unable to verify that, but I do know that there are local artists showing in there, and the art's pretty interesting. It's just sparse.
Yeah. There's not a ton of it, which is fine. I mean, I really like the building, and I like the brick and all that. Yeah. So I think it would almost be more of a negative if it was like too much up on the walls. Like I just like the sparse art and the little potted plants. It's cool.
The bar is little, but it's kind of cozy.
Yeah.
And there's a really big round like group seating kind of zone right by the bar that I really like a lot too. Mm-hmm. I mean, and it's got that gold sink that you hate in the bathroom.
Cody, for some reason, thinks I hate the gold sink.
I mean,
the only thing I was doing when we were discussing it there was I was just shocked at how clean the bathroom in turn 1 was compared to the bathroom in Wilburn. Not that the Wilburn bathroom was dirty. It really wasn't. But the turn 1 bathroom was very clean.
Right. The Wilburn bathroom is fully pink walls and a gold sink.
Yeah. It's cool.
It's cool.
Yeah. I dig it. So take a date.
We were there with someone who had taken a date there.
Yeah.
So I think I have to give them high marks for the ability to take a date there because it's been done.
Yes.
And my girlfriend and I have gone there on a date.
Yeah. And I commented that I would like to go back there with my wife to hang out.
Yeah. So I don't know how that jives with our review of turn 1 where it's a dive bar. Maybe that kind of implies more that this is not a dive bar because it is more welcoming. But we're both saying, yes, we would take a date there. Whereas turn one, we're obviously both a little hesitant.
Yeah, but part of that has to do with smoke level too. So
true. So music. I'm going to see if I can play this underneath us, but it's real short. This is what we heard.
Yeah.
This was the vibe while we were there.
Yeah. And I dug it. I mean,
it was unexpected.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, I walked in there like, okay, we're going to hear some Bowie. We're going to hear lots of 70s glam rock.
Right.
Maybe some Arcade Fire. Like hip, cool, Eastside kind of music. But it was that kind of music all night.
And it wasn't until later, actually, when we were leaving, that you noticed, like, hey, there's a guy on a DJ.
That DJ was not there before.
Okay. He definitely was not. Okay.
Out of nowhere.
But so was he, did we establish whether that music that you just played was him, or was that prior to him?
We did not establish, but in my mind, the bartenders were playing that music, and then the DJ was going to start as we left.
Okay.
But I don't know that.
Yeah.
And
so
it's
kind of
had enough drinks to not be paying attention to that detail.
Yeah. And, so it's kind of hard to say exactly. The music might vary on day to day.
Yeah. Our buddy Cody said that they do like a Sunday brunch with some really interesting music selections from a live DJ, and that's worthwhile. So I think we wrote down a 7. For this, which is pretty high.
Yeah,
pretty good.
I think so. I mean, if you're going to have a variety, and I'm sure just because of the establishment it is, some of the people that hang out there, that I'm sure on any other day, I would think the music would be pretty good.
Yep, agreed.
So food, they do have food.
They have it.
They have nachos. They have a variety of hot dogs, and I'm sure it is good. We didn't have any.
Right.
So I can't speak to the quality of it, but if the same proprietor as Mas Tacos, I'm sure there is a standard.
Right.
And I do like Mas Tacos a lot, so I can only imagine that the food there is going to be good.
Agreed. So that's an NA for us.
Yes.
But, optimistic.
Yes. Yeah. Payment.
This was contentious because it's affordable. That's a plus. They take credit cards. That's a plus. But they keep your card, which for me
drops it's down,
huge,
way down,
problem,
way down.
In this day and age, if you have an iPad or whatever device to swipe someone's card, and again, I'm not a bar owner. I don't know how these things work. I've been to many establishments where they swipe my card, hand it right back to me, and if I don't come back to them at the end of the night, they close it out and add 20% to whatever my tab is, automatically tipping out, which I absolutely love. Like, I want my card back immediately. I want to know that I'm at minimum going to be giving a 20% tip.
It's just hard for me to imagine that it's that much of an additional cost in terms of operating expense that
I think device, it's manual overhead that at the end of the night, someone has to go close out all those cards, as opposed to I come up, you close it out with me, I write down the tip, which presumably the tip might be higher if I'm manually writing it in. So there is an advantage there. I get that.
Right.
But
the whole swiping the card and not giving it back to you, I mean, I don't understand it. I don't know if there's a device that, that allows them to give it back to you immediately that is pricey, you know what I'm saying? Just the actual physical device, and they don't want to spend the money on that. And
they were using an iPad. I mean, they'd
they
already invested in technology. So, that's like the worst thing we have to say about the place. That's really not so bad.
If you're a proprietor or a bartender and you know the answer to this, let us know.
Yeah.
We'd be interested to know.
This is the place.
This is the place.
Yeah.
So, for me, it cost, I rank it very high. Payment, I rank it very low.
Yeah. So I think we're going to just give it a flat out 5.
Yeah.
Because of this issue with the
Some
card.
people might not care, but in this day and age, I agree with you 100%. Like, come on.
Yeah. This is our privilege talking, and we're being open about that.
That's fine.
That's okay.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Moving on. So the next place we went to is probably one of the most well-established dive bars in Nashville.
The oldest in East Nashville.
Oh, I'm sure it's the oldest in East Nashville.
Yeah.
I would think so. Although the last one we get to has been around for quite a while too. But anyway, I don't know how long Dino's, that's what we're talking about, has been around. And I mean, it's been featured on Anthony Bourdain's show. It's been a numerous newspaper.
Totally.
Newspaper.
It's been in newspapers.
In different media.
It's been in print media, y'all. That's how long it's been around. It's on. I don't know if you call it Gallatin Road or Main Street because it's right there.
It's Gallatin Road, right at the turn. And so I think it's actually on Gallatin.
Next to 308, next to a closed barber shop. But yeah, Dino's personal favorite. Huge fan of Dino's. I go there very regularly. So I was definitely coming in pretty biased on this, and I don't know that we spent much time there. Like,
we didn't,
we had a beer.
But just mainly because all three of us had been there frequently,
right?
So there was not a real reason to do a lot of investigation.
Now, in terms of our definition of dive bar, it does have liquor, so
but
it's a no fuss.
It's a very very no fuss sort of liquor.
Yeah, and this is another place that at one time had controversy. It was a locally owned establishment. It switched hands. Everyone was up in arms about what the changes were going to be. There was a rumor that it was going to be a tiki bar. The no smoking rule that went into effect was really upsetting. And lo and behold, all those things worked out just fine, and it's a better establishment for them. It's better that it's non-smoking.
They really didn't make hardly any changes at all other than moving smoking outside.
Right. And that actually made them clean up the patio area, which was a huge improvement.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I feel like we can almost get right to the scorecard.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's dive in.
So welcoming.
Super cool sign outside.
Kind of have to know where to park if you're driving.
Yeah.
There's not much parking.
Yeah. If you take a lift and they try and park directly in front, you might get hit by a car on Gallatin Road. Yes. So maybe have them pull into the Sherwin-Williams lot.
Yeah.
But it's very welcoming. It has great signage on the windows, like these hand-painted letters, really cool old sign.
Again, the same sign. I don't know how long that sign's been there.
The people that work there, I've yet to encounter anyone there that's not just like very pleasant.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody there just is there just to like hang out, have a good time.
Right.
Either if you work there or hanging out there, going to have a burger, going to have a drink there.
Yeah, there's a line cook there that just yells into the mic when your order is ready, something hysterical. Mm-hmm. I think the people that work there now and the patrons that go there are pretty young.
Yeah, I think a lot of people that work there probably started out hanging out there.
Yeah,
and then eventually started.
Yeah, I think 20 years ago, the vibe at Dino's
was very different.
Very different. And, we probably would not have felt as welcome there. So I don't know if that's a detriment to the history of the bar in that it's, hurt the locals, but the local has changed.
But
the entirety of that area around Dino's has changed. So,
and something we'll get to a little later on. But the last place that we went to, she said some of those people go there now.
Right. Oh, okay.
I don't know if you heard.
That's good. I did not hear that.
Yeah.
Well, we'll come back to that.
Yes.
So welcoming, we gave it an 8. Just because there's always room for improvement, but it was very high marks. Lighting,
I think I mentioned that it was definitely a little more well lit than Wilburn, but still not like super bright.
I'm gonna play something here for you here. This is a little pro tip about the lighting.
There's a special place you can sit where you have the perfect Nor lighting in front of you if you want to take some top Instagrams.
Yeah, if you need a kick-ass Instagram, sit in front of the kitchen light and it will shine right in your face in a very annoying way, but your photos will look beautiful.
So,
yeah.
I mean, you're not going to hear a lot of advice on taking cool Instagrams here on this show, but a couple of our Instagram, we don't do a lot of like photos on our Instagram, but I think more than one actually has been from Dino's, from that vantage point too. Yeah, it's a great spot to sit for photos. Yes, if that's a concern of yours. Yes. Overall, it's pretty dark in there, but I think it works. I think it works really well. Yeah. So smoke level, again, like we mentioned, you got to go outside, out in the back patio to smoke. Mm-hmm. So if you've never been there, just go straight on through, like you're going to the kitchen, but just keep on going straight. So it's definitely confusing for newcomers. You walk in, there's a bar kind of to your right in front of you, a little seating area to the left, and the kitchen is kind of right there in front of you to the left as well. Bathrooms are beyond that, and then beyond that is a door that looks like you're going into the freezer.
Yeah.
But you're going to the back patio.
Going up. Yeah, and then they might have storing some things right there. So, but yeah, it looks like is that I don't think I should go back there.
Yeah, it definitely has an employees only feel.
Right. Should we talk about the bathrooms briefly?
We can talk about the bathrooms. We're moving right into decor here, which I think the bathrooms are part of the decor. It's about 4 foot tall ceilings in there. Covered wall to wall, ceiling to floor in graffiti, like people writing stuff on the walls. There's no mirror in the men's bathroom.
Yeah, it's one of the most unique bathrums in Nashville.
It's
I would
pretty
say.
gross.
Not the easiest to use. No. If you can avoid it, maybe I would say, if you've got to go, you got to go. It's fine. You can do it.
I mean, as a male, I'm very appreciative that I don't need to touch anything while I'm in there. Sorry, Dinos, we love you, but it's weird in there.
Yeah. So rest of the decor.
I love the decor. There's like this, again, like Wilburn Street, there's like a lot of folk art in there and a lot of Dolly Parton.
Yes.
So out on the back porch, there were these 2 giant hamburger cutouts that were really awesome. There was an aardvark. Was it an aardvark or an armadillo?
It was armadillo.
Armadillo. And inside they have this pretty popular Dolly Parton head, this huge head of Dolly Parton that's got a very folk arty feel. There's even some... I think you can find it on YouTube or Instagram or something. Someone's stealing, these idiots stealing it. And there's cameras in Dino's. So if you try and walk out with something, they will see you do it.
Right.
So these dum-dums got caught trying to steal it and it was returned. But it's a staple of Dino's.
I don't know how long it's been there.
So I think the decor is a huge part of Dino's.
Yeah.
All of the menu behind the bar is handwritten. Like little whiteboards.
Just the whole vibe of everything about the decor, from the bar to what's on the walls. I mean, I'd give it a 10. I think it's great.
Well, on our recordings, you
what did I say?
You had said that 10 Dog still wins, so you can't give this a 10.
Okay,
because there's room for improvement.
Yeah.
All right. So,
take a date.
We know people have taken a date here. I find this place very pleasant.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Would take a date.
Yeah, totally. A first date. I would take a first date there. Anyway,
music. Well, we didn't have a great musical experience there. I have had great musical experiences there, but it was dancey. It was it didn't match the visual vibe of the place at all.
Yeah.
Which I guess maybe is nice that it's diverse in that way, but it wasn't for me. I kind of expect to hear, I don't know, anything except what I was hearing.
Right. It was, I mean, it didn't bother me, but it just didn't fit.
Yeah. So I think we gave it a 5 because we knew it could be better, but it was pretty bad that night.
Yeah.
Food.
I mean,
we didn't eat that night, but let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love the food there.
Yeah.
I'm a vegetarian, so I can't eat most of the food on the menu. So I normally get a grilled cheese there that's like deluxe with avocado and onions and stuff, which they're happy to make for me, which is super rad, and French fries. And the French fries there are... I know this sounds like hyperbole, but I don't think anyone could beat it. They're the best in the city.
Yeah. I feel almost the same way. I mean, it's hard for me not to have the hamburger there. I don't know if it's the best in the city now, but it is just a great burger. I mean, the burger and fries, you just can't beat it.
Yeah. Cody's a big fan.
What did Cody? Yeah, Cody.
He always gets the hot chicken.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He always gets the hot fish and has extremely high marks for them. But I will say he doesn't have high marks for everything. So let's take a moment.
Okay, here's the thing. I would normally say 10, but last night I had maybe the worst chili I've ever had here.
Wow.
Not the worst I've had here, the worst I've had in my life. I had it here. Just to clarify.
Can we hear more about this awful chili?
Yeah, it tasted like ketchup and beans.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so don't get the chili.
Yeah, which is menu can't bat 100.
No, I'm going to go ahead and just pro tip for any bar: don't get the chili.
Right, I would concur with that.
Yeah,
I like that Cody is adventurous.
he's a very
willing to
brave
try
man. But the menu there is great. Very high marks for food there. Do eat at Dino's.
Yeah. And payment.
We're giving it the highest of marks because they swipe your card and they give it right back.
Yes.
And they add 20% at the end of the night, which should be the standard for every establishment on the planet.
I don't think we need to talk about any more about that other than you can pay cash, you can pay credit card. Great. Anyway,
Dino's, go there. Good job.
Yeah.
So this brings us to our final destination.
I was going to mention one thing super quick.
Yep.
When we were at Dino's, it looks like, the clientele is mostly locals, but I think it is getting on the map. You do find some people. Apparently, because we talked with somebody earlier who had gone there, I think with this was her second time to Nashville, and she had gone there previously with some.
She was like the quintessential tourist,
But she was a cool.
No, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like, we were standing, which was a high point of contention for Matt because their seating is very limited, so we're just standing around. Not super pleasant, but it happens in a small bar. And this girl asked us to join her. Said, "Oh, we have free seats. Feel free to sit down." We were going to leave, and she's like, "I'm a tourist here. I came here once on a bachelorette trip," which is like, okay, of course you did. But she had come back for Spew Fest, so she's definitely unique, and was there just touring cool places that she'd heard about. So it's an interesting mix there, that someone who had come for a bachelorette party had also come for Spew Fest and had heard enough to go to Dino's.
Yes. And was very excited to maybe go to Santa's the next night.
Yeah, I mean, it's bizarre. Like, those are the two buckets of bachelorette party and Santa's on the one hand, Spew Fest and Dino's on the other. Maybe our tourists are getting cool.
Yeah.
Dare I say it?
I know. Yeah. Crazy. Anyway, moving on to the last stop,
the final destination,
the evening,
according to Vice magazine.
Oh my God,
coolest place on the east side.
On the east side, yeah. That article just came out, I think, in December. We're talking about Fran's Eastside.
Yeah,
I think the day before, I think I just was looking to get the actual address of it, and that article popped up, and I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, D. Patrick Rogers, the editor of The Scene, wrote an article for Vice magazine that claims that this bar, which is honestly a kind of hidden gem of the East Side, is the best bar on the East Side.
Yeah, so it's on the corner of Greenwood and Porter. And
lots of stuff over there.
Yeah, Vinyl Tap over there, which is great. Cafe Rosé, which is a place I definitely want to talk to about at some point on this podcast. I've been there, love it. And then you have Southern Grist, and then right behind Southern Grist is Fran's. And I can't remember who was I talking. It's been there for a long time, and I can't remember. I was talking to somebody who lives over there, and they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. And they go by that intersection all the time.
Wow.
And it's, I mean, so if you gotta want to go there, I don't think it's just a random place you're going to end up. It's been in that building since 2008, so just about 10 years. So the lady that runs it, her name is Katrina. Awesome lady. And it's one of these family establishments. Her daddy, I think, started it in 1968. It was called the Merry-Go-Round. And I think she said it was on, I could be wrong, but I think she said it was on Charlotte. And then it went through, she pulled out this list. I don't know how, I mean, obviously at least 10 years old, but I don't know if she was talking with her family about kind of going through the lineage of Fran's and the different names, but she had pulled it out of her pocket of where, how long it's been and where all it's been. Throughout the 60s and all the way up to 2008. But, I mean, I'll just run off a couple of these names. It was called, at one point, Nightlife. 1975 it was called Green Cat. In 1975 it was called King James, the K&K. Apparently that was popular. And then it was called the Kitty Cat.
Kitty Cat.
Cat theme, which we'll get to. Then it was called Lounge on the Hill. And then in the 80s, it moved to where I think Mickey's is currently. That's where it was. It was just called Eastside. And then finally, when it moved to where it is, they named it Fran's Eastside.
So those are all like singular businesses kind of moving about throughout the years?
The same owner, all bar, just, kind of bar from a lot of, from Charlotte to a couple downtown places.
Wow. Yeah.
And then eventually moved East Side. And
they know how to name
there's like 4 or 5 different names too. So, I mean, they went through lots of different iterations, and I believe it's her father that owned all these establishments. Keeping it in the family with her now.
Yeah.
So Fran's. Yeah.
It's one big room.
Yes.
I mean, there's bathrooms,
center block,
big center
room.
block space, and do we just want to dive into the scorecard? How do you describe this?
Yeah.
place?
I'll say so. When we went in there, they do karaoke's. They do karaoke.
Multiple karaoke's.
They do karaoke on the weekend, at least on Saturday night they do. And there is for newbies, there is a side entrance. So use the side entrance if you can.
Yeah, we did not.
We didn't. And so I'd never been there before. Both you guys have been there plenty of times, and for whatever reason, you let me take the lead.
Yep.
And
Sure
you
did.
didn't say anything to me.
It was a lesson that you had to learn, Matt.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, luckily, whoever was singing, they were kind of to the side of the door, so it wasn't too bad. But still, it was freaking awkward to walk in the front door and be like, oh, I am on the stage right now and somebody's singing. There's no stage. It's just...
To be fair, the Lyft driver dropped us at a place where you were meant to go in the front door.
Yeah.
The Lyft driver also did not know about the side entrance. Also, is the fourth place in the evening. I have been drinking at each of these spots that we've been going to. Maybe I didn't remember not to go in the front door.
Yeah. All right.
It definitely was. I was not trying to set you up.
All right. Whatever.
Sorry.
All right. Moving on. So just note. So welcoming. So on Saturday night, it's a very welcoming if you go in the side door.
Yes.
Not so welcoming if you go in the front.
I think the front has a cool look. I know it's a
does.
white cinder block place, but it has a sign that's pretty cool, and I like that it's tucked away in that neighborhood.
I want to say that sign they took with them at their last location.
I will note that for years, much like Turn 1, I have heard that Fran's is scary.
Yeah.
And as a white male, I do not feel that there. I can see that it might not be welcoming. I think it's changed over the years. I think it's so much different now than it was.
I don't think it's
10 years
like that
ago,
at all.
5 years ago.
No.
But there is an air of Fran's having some scariness to it, at least to some people. I mean, it's a rumor that I've heard. It's an apprehension I've heard from people. So I guess I'm mostly saying that to just acknowledge that I know that exists and to say it's not scary.
Yeah, I think based on our experience there, it's definitely not that.
Right.
Not at all, because it all sorts of young folks, older folk. I mean, it was the most integrated place we went to of the evening.
In what way are you using that?
Age and race.
No. Turn 1 was the most integrated. Not in terms of age, but in terms of race. There was a wider variety of people at Turn 1.
All right.
Mostly white people at Fran's, which is not terrible, but you know, if you in terms of being welcome, I mean, it's hard for me. I'm a white male, so it's like I don't know what that experience is like to be the only person in the room.
Right.
So I don't know what that would feel like, and I'm not going to try and say otherwise. But it's mostly white people.
Yeah.
But it is men and women, and it is young and old people.
The age range is really vast.
Very vast, and no one seems to give a shit.
Yeah.
So
I
think that lends itself well to it not mattering.
Right. So for me, welcoming, I mean, I'd give it high marks.
Yes.
Because I thought
it should be noted too that we were there with some friends of yours were there who had been there for hours, and they are very close with the owner.
Yes, yeah, they live in walking distance to there, Chris and Steve, and
so we get like good treatment.
Yeah, we did.
Because we were with them.
Yeah, we did, and we got some good inside knowledge because of that.
Right.
But I think just on any other given night, I think it'd still be pretty welcoming. Lighting, very, very, very bright.
Shockingly bright. For a dive bar, shockingly bright.
Almost like I don't know, the office fluorescent lighting sort of thing.
Yeah, it was
so a little much.
But
almost.
It's like a casino. There's no way to know what time it is there.
Yeah, I think that's what Steve said. We were talking about that. Like, you have no clue. Everybody's having a great time. Don't know if it's 9 o'clock at night or 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
So lighting, very well lit. Smoke level, you can smoke in there.
And it has fans.
And it does have fans. So I give it a better mark than Turn 1 because the ventilation is better.
Yeah, 6 or 7. Your eyes were not burning.
They were not burning. Decor. You want to talk about the decor?
I think it's very slapdash, haphazard in there.
Is what you think as a dive bar.
Yeah, it feels very good as a dive bar. There is an enormous tapestry of a cat face on the far wall, and for me, that just locked it in. 10. 10s across the board.
Amazing. Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's like bigger than your tallest friend.
Yeah.
I was very much into that. And then also on the wall opposing that, there's like a portrait from the 1800s. Like just completely random.
With some Christmas, glitter like wrapped around it. Like
no rhyme or reason.
No,
nothing. There's not even like an idea of like, oh, it's a NASCAR place. There's a vague cohesion.
Yeah. No. But that's one thing I like about a local neighborhood dive bar.
Yeah.
Is there doesn't have to be, but it works.
I will say I don't love the bathroom there. It's not gnarly, but it's just shy of gnarly.
Yeah, no, I agree. Any bathroom where, it has the same, like that faucet where you put the mop in to eventually mop at the end of the night. It's kind of like,
Which, again, that's like, I'm maybe being a little prissy about it, but it's just like...
It's not the worst, but, it's not...
Turn 1 had an impeccable bathroom, so it is possible.
Yeah,
So.
You can keep it clean. Take a date.
It's pretty fun there.
Yeah.
The karaoke we saw was a wide range of like really, really good, like you would see like professional style doing, to just like hysterical, like it was good. Like you felt, because the welcoming level was so high, it would be fun to take a date there if they were cool with the smoke.
Yeah. I think if I could convince my wife to deal with the smoke, we would go there, and I might actually be able to convince her.
Yeah.
Because it was so much fun. Yeah, we'll move on.
Yeah.
Music. So it's karaoke.
Is it just a bar sometimes, or is it?
It's got to be.
Karaoke?
No, I don't think it's always karaoke. I guess I should have asked Chris that, but I have a feel like there's no way you can have karaoke every night. That would be just pummeling.
I think it happens. I don't know.
I do think there is more than one night of karaoke.
Yes.
The guy Sam, I believe, that was manning the karaoke. I think it was a regular there. He used to sing there all the time, and he now kind of mans it.
And he did sing while we were there. And
he did.
Was very good.
Great voice.
Yeah.
I'm only guessing here, but it just seems to me like this is a place where you would hear Patsy Cline, and you would hear Hank Williams, and you would hear that kind of old country, more so than maybe like Skynyrd. But maybe it is.
I think you could hear any music there.
Yeah.
Probably not like pop or dance kind of stuff, but I think anything that wasn't in the mainstream, I think you could hear it there.
Yeah.
And it would feel all right. I don't know. Food we didn't eat, and I probably wouldn't.
Yeah. But there are options. There is a list on the refrigerator that they will microwave stuff for you. So I think, if you want some pizza rolls, that is an option.
Do they have ketchup and beans?
I don't know. They brought them over from Dino's. Yeah, I don't know. Again,
it's a chips kind of
there's
place.
the metric. Where if need be, there's always it's there.
Yeah. So time of day times number of drinks equals we'll have microwave food.
Yes. But I don't imagine a lot of people. You get a bag of chips.
But it's the type of place that you end up at 2 a.m.
It is.
So
yeah, it's there. ...
Ellipses.
Payment.
Cash only.
Yep.
Low marks.
Cash only. Yep.
Don't love that. But you can get a bucket of beer, and they'll mix and match what beers you ask for, and it's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
So, that's a plus, that it's cheap, and they can get a bucket of beer, and that they're you can be a tiny bit fussy about it.
Yeah, any place that is a cash only, there's no way for them. They just can't have pricey beers because nobody would go there. You have to have reasonable cost and their drink selection. So... that's it. I just want to mention a couple things about Fran's while we wrap this up. It's one of those places where, and granted, like you said earlier, we had some ringers in there, but even if they weren't there, everybody was getting into karaoke. Everybody was having a good time. I spoke to some people, just ran, could, whoever's sitting next to you, you could strike up a conversation with. And what Katrina told me earlier in the evening when she showed me that sheet of paper with all the different names of the iterations of the place is that the owner of Dino's, after he transferred hands, that he hung out there for a long time.
Wow. It's an endorsement.
Yeah. And I think a lot of those folks, the old school Dino's folks, went to Fran's. And maybe some of those people that were there that evening were some of those original old folks from Dino's.
I think a lot of the people that probably left Dino's go to Fran's at like 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's a place that seems like you would go early in the evening or late in the afternoon.
So, wrapping it up, which one is the place?
Yeah, this is tough because I love Dino's. I love it. I go there a lot.
Yeah.
I thought Wilburn Street Tavern was good, but it's out. Like it just didn't fit enough of the criteria.
I'm going to go back there without a doubt.
Yeah, I will go back. I'm a big fan of it, but I don't know that it met the criteria. I was very impressed by turn 1. I think
Pleasantly surprised.
Man,
Am I going to go back there? I don't know.
I wouldn't feel bad.
I would be fine with going back there.
If someone was like, "Hey, let's meet at turn 1," I would feel fine to go there. But if it was me leading the night out, I don't know that I would suggest it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't lead the charge there. But maybe that's just because we were there at 8:00. I don't know. I am really hesitant to make a pick here. I think it boils down to between Fran's and turn 1.
Yeah, and it kind of depends on what you want to get out of the evening too. But for us, for what we're talking about today, for me, it's Fran's. I mean, with turn 1, a close second. But again, I think I don't know if it's because it was an end of night thing and we were having such a good time, but I'll definitely go back to Fran's.
But why not Dino's? What about Dino's prevents you from casting that vote? Because I think you feel as good about Dino's as I
do. 100%, as long as I can sit down.
Oh.
That's
okay.
I know we talked about
massively altered your opinion on it.
I
would agree that it sucks to stand at a bar. It's terrible.
It's just a small place, and I feel like there's been several times that I've gone there recently where I have to stand, and I'm just like, this is cool, but I'm ready to move on.
Yeah,
I want to go sit at a bar. This is gonna be terrible to say, but I don't know if I feel cool enough to hang out at Dino's as much as I do.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me typically, but the past couple times I just felt old.
Interesting. And those feelings definitely don't come out at Fran's.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
No one cares.
Or turn 1. Or even in a weird way at Wilburn, even though I was definitely the oldest guy there. But I love Dino's. I don't know. It's just weird because I'll go back to it. I think this assumed that I'm going to go back there.
In terms of the, looking at what we went through with the west side or south side dive bars, I definitely went in with a conception of who I would be voting for, and at the end of it, we picked 10 Dog Tavern.
Yeah, which was kind of a last minute decision to even go to.
Yeah, so I think in the spirit of 10 Dog Tavern, I will cast my vote for Fran's Eastside.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
D. Patrick Rogers was correct.
Yeah.
Possibly the best dive bar on the east side.
Yeah. I don't know if they needed the press because by the end of the evening, it was packed.
Yeah. In 5 years, it will be the new Santa's.
Yeah. So. I think that's a correct prediction. 100%.
Yeah.
So
Cody Newman's words. I'm taking them from him, and I'm attributing to myself. All right. So all of these places we highly recommend going, or at least checking out. Wilburn Street Tavern was awesome. Dino's is awesome. Fran's has won the bracket.
Yes.
Turn 1. Interesting little take a tourism look in your own town. It's worth a look.
Go. Definitely. So good episode, and we will see. I don't know where we're heading to next, but we got 5 episodes to figure that out. So so wrapping it up. So remember, eat up, drink up, and if anyone asks, this is the place to be. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Was that over an hour?
Oh, yeah.
That's all right.